welcome back to the Chatterbox. I'm Jules.
I'm Bronsley.
And then this is my little friend Dino. That I did have a name for it earlier, but I forgot it. So we're just gonna call it Dino. It's weighted and everything, and I love it. So he's our special guest today.
Exactly.
So to start it off, Bronte, what was the most interesting thing to you in these two chapters?
I think today I read this multiple times, just letting you know this, but I think that it stuck out for having anxiety as a leadership and all of that. If you are leading and you do have anxiety and you're starting to worry, and people, because it's the nonverbal, it shows right away and people can see, and then it starts spreading like wildfire
Fire!
flowers. And you see this like effect that it starts to crumble the foundation and the leadership and all the people that you've brought up with you. It sort of crumbles because everyone gets anxiety. And I think it's something that we do have to keep a lookout for, because it happens more than you often think it does. Do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I think also like in the chapter when it was talking about like leadership crisis isn't because of a lack of knowledge, but it's more that you don't have resilience and courage. And I think I've seen that in my own life with myself, but just also people I've worked with in leadership roles of like, because they don't want to be the bold person or step out or just be courageous in what they believe, that um, it has been more dysfunctional, or it hasn't been strong long enough, or like long for a long period of time, just because they lack that courage. And I think we live in a time right now that you have to be more courageous, and like you can't just like, and that's hard for me sometimes because I am a peacemaker and sometimes I don't want to fit into the
She is.
I don't want to like be courageous or like be stepping out there, but like I do see that as a really big leadership quality that you need to have in order to have a company or lead a group of people well. So
Snaps.
which I think you're gonna touch on this a little bit more with your anxiety, but how do the principles from this reading relate to things in your own life?
So I'm actually gonna. It sort of was brought into the aspect of young life for me.
One moment. Can you give me my water?
Yes. Also, our video is sponsored by grapefruit juice this time. She doesn't like it.
We have too much grapefruit juice in our fridge, so we slowly drinking it. Anyways.
I love it. Anywho, so it has brought into the aspect of young life. So I was a wildlife leader actually for all of North Spokane for the last 2 years. And hopefully you don't hear our ice maker in the background.
I don't think you heard that.
But there was our head leader, and he was hiding stuff for a long time. And then last year, all of a sudden, he just quit. Both of them just quit. And we're like, wait, what is going on? He was hiding that we had a giant money deficit, and that the anxiety of all of that started breaking our groups down. We had a lot of people leave, and a lot of like different young life. So Mount Spokane Young Life, they got hit. Wildlife got hit because we didn't have all of that, and now it's spread out to all of North Spokane, and that it's affecting North by Southwest now. So it's affecting a lot more parts than I thought it was, and it brought anxiety to a lot of people, that it affected how people were leading and how we were showing the love of God to these kids, and how it didn't change for the better, if you would say.
Well, I also think like as an outsider too, in that period of time when that like came to a front, and like you were going and like learning and having these town hall meetings about this, like I could see like how you were torn in between two things. It's like, this is a ministry that I love, but I don't like the direction it's going towards, and I don't, and that going back and forth, so like that was giving you anxiety. I don't want to speak for you, but that's just what I was seeing from the outsider view. And so like that kind of just shows it's like that anxiety at the top where and he felt like he needed to hide things just trickled down.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sadly I do think that was what kind of broke it a little bit because like you said, you're not a part of it anymore, and I think there's other people like that.
Mm-hmm.
um and I think that's just a perfect example of like when leaders high up authority is having anxiety, it does trickle down to the
Mm-hmm.
all stages.
All stages,
Yeah.
yes.
I think in my life, one of the principles of like true leadership is bold and imaginative. I
Mm-hmm.
think like working in the admissions office, I swear I come back every single summer and there's this new bold thing that we're implementing, and I'm like, okay. Or like every semester we come back to the drawing board for why we were like, okay, we're adding all these things, and I'm like, okay. And I think like the big one, like the elephant in the room, is this whole cost efficiency of
Tuition.
tuition. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. I just talk about it all the time, and so then I'm like, and so like that is like a big bold thing, and like how we're the only private school in the Northwest who've started this.
I think my mic
Um,
just turned off.
oh, we can just use mine.
I don't know if any of that was recording instead.
Well, it's okay. We'll just use mine. And so like that's just like what I think where it's really just trying to be bold, in our admissions policies, in marketing, because like we're trying to go against, not go against, but we're fighting for people to come here and not GCU. And I said it, and
GCU.
I will say that. Just because I'll just leave it at that. If you really want to know, David, I'll go.
We can talk about this over
That
cribbage.
that yeah, over cribbage. That's what we should do next podcast. We should play cribbage while doing the podcast. Anyways, but anyways, that'll be part 2 if you really want to know why I don't like GCU. But anyways, that's not why we're talking. Yeah. Okay. Bronte, describe how real organizations might learn from these principles.
Well, my mic just turned back on, so we're gonna see how long it survives.
Thank you, Lord.
Repeat. Sorry, I got distracted.
Describe how real organizations might learn from these principles. Do you want me to start that?
Sure, go for it.
Okay,
Either
sorry.
or.
I just reread the question and realized I really want to talk about this. So, what I really got from these principles is people in high up leadership and have authority, they have to be in a healthy state in order to lead well. And if they're not in a healthy state, then it can trickle down, like we said with the Young Life example. But also, if you are an authority and you realize you're not in that healthy state, you need to recognize that and know, I need to bring people in. I cannot do this 100% well. And so I need to, I think we don't need to use the mic. Like,
no, it's fine.
Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't have a green light anymore.
No, it turned off again.
Oh, I know. I know. So we'll use this one. Anyways, David, what I was saying is, yeah, you have to know when, in order to like bring people in and be like, okay, I can't, like I'm full of anxiety, or I can't lead well, and know when where your limits are. So, and just going in, and which this leads to the second question, or whatever, the next question, of anything you disagree with. And I think that also goes in with authority, of something that I've just grown up with is I don't really like the word bold, because in my mind I associate bold with cockiness, and that's not really what the book was saying, but that is something that like every time I see that word I think a little bit of the word cockiness, because I feel like if you are bold and like you are only living in boldness, then you can give that persona of like I'm the crap, that like kind of like that, like I'm worth it. I know my stuff, like, and it is good to be bold. It is good to be bold in like your faith, or be bold in in your family or like in stuff you love, and that's not a bad thing. But I do think sometimes boldness in the workforce can sometimes, or even in friendships, can lead to cockiness to the outer people. And so, yeah. Is there anything that you want to add to that?
So for the first part of that question, I wanted to add with like leadership and all of this, like I'm bringing it back to RAing. We have, it's called our Bob. So we have this person.
Burn up, buddy.
So we have this person. It's when we're feeling anxious or worried or have questions or I'm not sure what to do. We have this support person that we can call up and be like, "Hey Bob, I need you right now. Like, how can you help me?"
This is my Bob.
And clearly not me.
No, I'm Bronte's Bob. Or she's my Bob.
Yes. All of the above. But before we go up to the higher above, it's how can we work together and figure this out before we have to call the AC on call, which it's a cool thing to see that we were able to dive into that group with. Okay.
Okay. Last question, Bronte. Have you intentionally done the 5 to 10 positives to everyone negative?
Yes, I have. I very much.
Care to share an example?
I would say with some of my residents, specifically this little group of 3 that's right next door to us.
Living in a double.
Getting paid $35 a week, which
they're getting a rebate, not getting paid.
Anyways, it's
the business major had to make that clear.
It's seeing that the interactions with them, how it's affected, how it's sort of like every time I see them, it's like I walk into the room and we're like, "Hey, how are you doing?" Like just starting off that happiness and all of this, and then noticing that every time I have more of a positive interaction with them, it's like, "Do you want to go do something with us? Or can we watch a movie with you?" Or just interacting and being like, "Oh, I was looking for you," so that they like the friendship is starting to go deeper than under this just like the regular surface level questions and all of that, which is really cool to see. Anything to add, Julia?
Yeah, I was just gonna say quickly, my best friend from San Diego, she just got broken up with on Monday, and what? And it's good. It's a good thing. But when we called, like she was very much in a sad state, as she should, and I she had how they ended was kind of in a negative interaction, and so I wanted to make her feel like she was worthy and and just all this different stuff. So like I made sure to make the phone call just be all these like positive interactions and bringing back all these like funny memories we had together when we worked in Mexico together and all our trips we've done. And so it was just like I wanted to make sure that that phone call was just like funny and just positive, and not really getting into the nitty gritty of like, oh, why'd you guys break up and tell me all that. We really didn't talk about that, but I just, because I knew that she was already had that negative interaction, and so I wanted it to be like light and fluffy and make her laugh. And yeah, so yeah, you want to close us out, Bronsley?
This has been the 3rd episode of the Chatterboxes.
Chatterbox!
Bronsley and
Jules
signing off.